number one, this is a long one, so bear with me. Question, Peter, granted in a resource-based economy, everyone would have access to the necessities of life for free. Do you think there will be a place for collector's items to be bought, sold, traded in some form? Although it seems obvious that that often the motive of labeling something as a collector's edition DVD is usually a marketing tactic, I'm referring to something more along the lines of an object with historical value, such as a coin collection, or something that is viewed as valuable for sentimental reasons rather than usefulness. And let me go through and look at the rest of this question. In other words, even though the Zeitgeist Orientation movie does a good job of explaining that what we want is accessible rather than property, right? How much room will there be for people still being able to call something mine? Well, that's a very interesting question. Well, let's assume someone has a set of rare coins. Is it really a good idea for them just to hoard it to themselves? It has no monetary value at this stage. It has an intrinsic antique value, meaning there is a scarcity element there. And by the way, when we talk about eliminating scarcity, we're very much aware of the novelty of general human creation. But it's the value system change, it's the reorientation of these issues. Money plays such an incredible role in art. Millions of dollars for a painting by Picasso. In the future, these paintings will be accessible just as they are today through museums. A coin collection would be shown. I think it's a very complex question. I don't exactly know the answer, but all I can say is that anybody who wants to hoard their items and restrict them from somebody else will be essentially in if you will, an ethical violation of the way the system basically is condoned. And I think through time that tendency will absolutely vanish. It's a very minor issue. I know precisely what you mean, and it's a complex issue. Anything that's rare should be made available to the public in the sense that it can be seen, viewed. The public isn't going to care to own it because they can't do anything with it, because most of these issues are sentimental. They're not really functional utility. You know, say your mother made you something. In our culture today, sentiment, excuse my last truncated sentence, in our culture, sentiment is a very big thing. And it's obviously a cultural phenomenon based on attachments to each other. And I think that there will be a natural respect for things like that. Why would someone steal the sweater that your grandmother knitted for you? What are they going to do with it? So, you know, I hope that answers your question. It's an interesting, complex question. To summarize, I think valuable items that are intrinsically rare will either be duplicated for everyone to share in some form. For example, you don't find reel-to-reels by the Beatles being sold like paintings, while collectors might buy things like this. No one really cares that much to listen to the original reel-to-reel of a Beatles song. They get reproductions of it, such in DVD form, CD form, excuse me, and that exact same process can be done with pieces of art. You can reproduce art, prints. To have the original is really a form of arrogance or a form of sentiment. And on the level of sentiment, well, I think to each his own, and the world will most likely evolve. Maybe problems could arise, but most likely the society will evolve to have a general respect for whatever sentimental objects people have. Again, this is based on access. How often do you run into somebody that has something that's of their sentimental value that you want outside of the interest of maybe its monetary value? There could be neuroses in there, but I hope that point is clear.